Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here. Talking a little MMA here in the studios of 104.7 FM and 1280 AM The Zone. This segment is brought to you by Beehive Bell Bonds, because sometimes bad things happen to good people. We have a big superstar. Oh, he's on the line. Okay, good. So we got Chris Lytle on the phone, and I got to say, first of all, we've got some pretty big names on the show lately, and this none bigger than this guy here. Joe, you were telling me 8 times out of the 10 times he's fought in the UFC, he's won some type of win bonus.
I think it's 8 out of his last 10 fights, okay. I believe.
That's incredible, man. So none bigger than Chris Lytle. Chris, how you doing, man?
Doing great, brother. Doing great.
Oh, man, I like your energy, man. So what's going on over there?
Over here, back in Indianapolis, just hanging out with the kids right now. Did a few training sessions today, and just, trying to get my leg healthy, get it back. I had surgery not too long ago, so just getting ready for my next fight. I'm fired up.
That is awesome. And it sounds like you've got a lot on your plate, man. You're a full-time fireman, and it sounds like you've got kids and a family as well. And then you describe yourself as a part-time fighter? How do you pull off being a top-ranked fighter when you're doing it part-time?
Well, I'm the busiest guy I know, man. All I do is I got like about 3 things I do. I obviously train for the UFC fights. I do that a lot. And you heard I'm on the fire department, so I work about 48 hours a week there. And the rest of my time is, trying to spend time with my family, my kids and whatnot. So I got 4 kids, and geez, I've been busy, man. I got, kids doing basketball and track and cheerleading and soccer. I'm just like,
I was going to say, chasing kids around can be a training all in of itself.
Chris, do you sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I get about 5 or 6 hours a day.
So if anybody says they don't have enough time to train, that's crap. Look at this guy.
I just laugh at them. Man, I'm like, you find time to do the things you want in your life. If somebody said, I'll give you tickets to the Super Bowl, you find time to get there somehow. You got to find, if you want to do stuff, you find ways to make it happen. And right now, this is what I want to do, so I find ways to make it happen.
Well, Chris, we're on a sports talk radio show here, a radio station here, and we're trying to indoctrinate people into MMA, let them know what it's all about. And you being a guy that's been around, you've had over 50 fights. Can you kind of tell the folks listening that what your background is and how you got into this whole thing? And then, my God, you've been in Japan fighting quite a bit. Kind of run us through your career.
Oh, yeah, well, I started back in 1998, which was, forever ago for the sport, seems like. And, back then the sport was way different. I started out, I was a wrestler back in high school, and I tried to dabble a little bit in boxing, and this sport came along and it just kind of made sense. So I started training with some of my friends, and one of the guys had a manager who was getting him into these fights over in Japan. And, man, I really wanted to go, so I just kept training and kept winning until they sent me over there. And that's kind of how my career took off. Back then it was funny. In Japan, there was no weight class, and there was you could headbutt, you could do whatever. So it was a little different, but a little different.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Well, how did you going having done all that and you come back? Was it an easy transition to come back and not be able to headbutt and those kind of things, or did it take some time to get back and fight under the fight rules?
I mean, even here in the States, when I used to fight in Indiana a lot, you could pretty much headbutt here, too, and kick a down opponent. You could pretty much do whatever. There was no, sanctioning body, really. It was just kind of a free-for-all. And then when the Fertitas, Zuffa took over the UFC, it had been outlawed, I think, in every state but 3. So that was the big problem with it. There wasn't enough rules. So then the Fertitta, Zuffa took over the UFC, and they immediately tried getting it sanctioned in Nevada and all these other states. And, part of the stipulation was they had to come up with more rules, make it a little bit safer for the commissions and whatnot. So they did that, and then soon after, everybody kind of slowly but surely kind of followed suit and started adopting these rules. So, it was a gradual thing. But, after that, at that point, I've been fighting for quite a while. I also fought some in Japan where you weren't even allowed to punch to the face with a closed hand. You had to use open hand to the face and close to the. It was really weird. So, I've had lots of different fights in different places with different rules. You just kind of, know what rules you're fighting by, and then you adapt.
All right. Good stuff. Chris Lytle, UFC superstar, joining us here on the program. Chris, I notice you've got a degree, and I really find it fascinating that a lot of fighters, they're not just knuckle dragging ding dongs that people affiliate with this sport. Can you kind of talk about that and what draws an intelligent, obviously well-spoken individual like yourself to get into MMA? And then do you feel like you have some type of responsibility as an ambassador, representative of the sport?
Well, I definitely do feel like that, especially back in the day when I started in the late '90s and early 2000s. I mean, yeah, when you told people you were a cage fighter, I mean, they looked at you like you said you had a second head growing out or something. They just thought you were crazy and like, what's wrong with this guy? I've heard of that stuff. Oh wow, what's wrong? But most of the guys actually, a lot of them do have some college education or not because. I mean, this isn't just. I used to do pro boxing, and the guys here are much more intelligent. I mean, it's not just athletic ability in this sport. You have to be well disciplined in several different types of fighting. You have to be a practitioner of jiu-jitsu, a practitioner of wrestling, a practitioner of some form of kickboxing. I mean, you have to. That takes dedication and learning and willing to lose a lot. So you have to be good at several different aspects. It's not just going out there and being the most athletic. I mean, when I was in boxing, you could get by with that. If you were super fast and super strong, I mean, they can turn you into a good boxer. You can't necessarily be a good MMA fighter unless you're willing to work on a lot of things. So I definitely felt early on I had to, I couldn't do certain things because I want to put forth the right image for me and for the sport that, we're not a bunch of mindless Neanderthals out there trying to, hit each other over the head with a club.
All right, Chris, it says you're planning on returning to UFC 137. Is that just a rumor, or is that locked down, or what's going on with that?
137, where's that one even at?
Liverpool,
England. That's
I guess that's no.
So that's no. Well,
no. Actually, I talked about coming back right around then, either in England or over there in Sweden, I believe one of those two. Right around then, I told him I would be willing to, fight probably around the, be in the summer, beginning of fall, right around then.
Do you know? And, do you know you might be fighting, or is that just too far?
Yeah, I think I might be fighting Dan Hardy. I think.
Dan Hardy, he's been on the program before. He's a very interesting individual. I think that's an interesting matchup. How do you feel about that matchup?
I like it a lot. I mean, I know what he wants to do. He wants to stand there and trade punches and try and knock my head off. And I'm not gonna shy down from that. That's the kind of fight I like. Because I guarantee I'm gonna try and knock your head off. So let's make it a good fight. If I win, that's the way I see it. I mean, those are the fights I like. Those are my favorite ones, and not hard for me to get excited to train for that one. I know it's going to be a fun fight. I know it's what I like, and I felt bad for him. His last fight, he wanted that and he didn't get it. So I said, I'm the man. I'm the man who'll give you the right kind of fight. Let's do it.
Well, good. We expect another fight bonus out of that fight.
Yeah, I think that.
I'm expecting one definitely. I'm gonna try and get two, because you can win 5 tonight knockout. Right? If I can get two, that'd be great. I'll settle for one.
Look at you, man! Not even messing around with just one anymore.
I'm greedy. I want them all. I'm trying to find a way to knock out a guy and then submit him on the way down. Win all three.
I like you, Chris
Lytle. He was out. So give me 3 bonuses, please.
Hey, so is there anybody out there on your radar screen other than obviously Hardy? Is there anybody else there that you kind of would like to fight? Obviously, I'm sure you want to eventually win a belt, but anybody out there you'd like to fight?
I mean, dude, it's tough right now. There's just so many good people in our weight class. I know I was supposed to fight Carlos Condit last time, and then once, and then I blew my knee out, and then we were supposed to fight again, and then he hurt his knee. So I don't think that would be a good fight. I don't know. There's just so many good people. Obviously, George St. Pierre, he's, just the champ. So I always, and I feel like he's probably the best guy in the weight class. So I'd like to fight him, even if somehow he lost the title, I'd still like to fight him just because I still consider him the best. So
that says a lot about you, man. It says a lot about you. Hey, Chris, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been a great interview, and I want to wish you the best of luck in your career.
Well, hey, man, it was fun. I'm still planning on making my way out to Utah here sometime. I'd like to come out there and hang out with you fine people. So
we're gonna try to make that happen. We'd love to have you come out and do a seminar one of these days and just get you to hang out here in Utah.
I love it, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. Chris Lytle, once again, man. What a great this kid's a stud, man. He's just a stud.
A good interview, too.
He's got a lot of energy, man. I really liked it, man. Especially if a guy you get done chasing around your kids. How do you have the energy?
And a couple training sessions and 48 hours a week at the fire department.
Oh, my gosh.
Good stuff. All right. Well, hey, we got a lot more to talk about. We're going to talk some more local MMA and then the Colbert report. You don't want to miss that. We got more Ultimate Combat Radio when we come back.